melodramatic, didn't I?
Told me that you weren't really on a vacation. That you've been looking for a job for a year and your boyfriend didn't work out.
You are out of control.
What?
I've packed your things. They're in the bedroom.
What?
That was a look at Colossal, a romantic comedy starring Anne Hathaway. It's being described as changing the rom-com genre. Wow, that's a big statement for his take on this. And a look at other new movies opening this weekend. I'm joined by Richard Crouse. Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. So, Colossal.
I liked this one a lot.
Really?
Yeah. So Anne Hathaway stars as a Manhattanite. When we first meet her, she's living a fairly glamorous life in Manhattan, great apartment, very handsome boyfriend, but she's lost her job and she hasn't worked in a year, and she's been lying to her boyfriend, saying, I'm looking for work, and instead she's spending the days drinking in bars and sometimes not coming home at night because she can't find her way home. He eventually asks her to leave. She goes back to her hometown. So far you kind of have the setup to an extreme, but kind of a rom-com kind of setup. So she goes back to her hometown. She meets a guy there who is an old friend of hers. They went to school, played by Jason Sudeikis. He runs a bar, gives her a job. They sit around and drink at night. They flirt. It seems like it's going to be a rom-com. What she discovers, though, is at night when she staggers out of the bar on her way home, she cuts through a playground, and those trips through the playground seem to be coinciding exactly with a giant monster attack that's happening on the other side of the world in South Korea. Yep. This is the strangest rom-com ever made, probably.
Is it really a rom-com?
Well, it's not exactly that. So she, at first, doesn't believe it, but as we see her here, she's in the playground. When she starts doing all that stuff, the monster on the other side of the world starts doing all that stuff as well. Then she has the responsibility to deal not only with the monster on the other side of the world, but with her own problems. So the monster is real, but it's also a metaphor for her alcoholism and her own personal problems. This is the kind of script, the kind of romantic comedy script that Drew Barrymore would have tossed in the garbage by about page 7. Anne Hathaway, though, rocks it. She brings a real sort of humanity to it. She's fun to watch in this. And as the going gets strange, and it does get weird in this movie, she kind of grounds it in a very real way. It's 3.5 out of 5 stars for me. I like this movie, and the last 2 minutes of this movie are kind of awesome.
Okay, wow.
Stays right through to the credits.
Okay, so the next movie is The Lost City of Z or Zed,
It's Zed in the film. They say Zed in the film. And this is the true-to-life adventures of a guy called Percival Fawcett. He was a colonel. He was an explorer. He mapped some very hard-to-navigate rivers in the Amazon. And at the end of one of those trips, he found some pottery in a very remote place that apparently no one had ever been to before. So his question was, well, how did this pottery get here? There must have been people here before. So he feels that there is a lost city, which he names Zed, out there somewhere. And he becomes obsessed with finding it. And he becomes obsessed with finding it for 2 reasons. For one thing, he wants to kind of rewrite history a little bit. He wants to put his stamp on that. But his father had been involved in some kind of scandal. There was a cloud over the family name, and he wanted to clear that up by making this huge discovery. And, you know, this is a beautifully made, old-fashioned kind of film that you could imagine like James Mason or Gregory Peck or someone like that starring in years ago for about the first hour and a half. And then there is a moment in the film that I like to call, well, I don't like to call it because I don't like to see them, but the dropout moment. The moment at which you disengage from the movie and you never come back.
Oh.
And still, after the dropout moment, you still have to get through World War I and another trip to the Amazon. So there's a ways to go.
Yeah.
And Charlie Hunnam is in this, Sienna Miller. There's some good actors, some good performances. It's a beautiful looking movie, but I can only give it 2.5 stars because of this dropout moment.
Okay, and finally, Unforgettable. Oh, dear.
Yeah, Katherine Hagel, my Rosario Dawson, who's actually pretty great in this movie, but she is surrounded by nonsense. This is a movie whose tagline is, "When love ends, madness begins," which is, you know, kind of set this thing up, to me anyway, to be kind of an exploitation film, sort of a B movie, kind of a fun little, you know, drama. And it is none of those things. It is the story of Katherine Hagel. She was married to a man named David. They have a daughter. They have divorced. David has moved on. on. He's now with Rosario Dawson. They're soon to be married. Katherine Hagel tries to use the daughter as a wedge to get between them. That doesn't work, so she escalates things a little bit. And, you know, every character in this thing, save for Rosario Dawson, straight out of central casting. We have seen all these before and better. The only thing that I kind of liked about this movie, and it's not because it was great, it's because I can't believe that it actually made it to the screen. There's a character of a police officer here who might be the dumbest cop to ever be portrayed on film. In the history of cinema, this guy may take the cake. So it's 1 star out of 5 for me.
It's forgettable.
It is unforgivable, almost.
Oh, dear. Okay. I'm just going to say with 10 seconds left, you loved Free Fire.
Free Fire, go see Free Fire. It's a down and dirty little, it has the spirit that Unforgettable should have had.
Okay. Richard Crouse, see you next week. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.